Did you know that the pandemic of 1918, also known as the Spanish flu, killed more people than World War I? The National Geographic Society announced that nearly 50 million people who were infected died, and about 675,000 of this number was in the United States. Many people who caught the virus experienced symptoms in the morning and would die by nightfall. Others would die from severe complications shortly after. It has been cited as the most devastating epidemic in recorded world history, and experts predict there will be a similar outbreak in the future. So today, I want to speak to you on the topic of influenza, or more commonly known as the flu. For most people, the flu is just a seasonal nuisance announced by a fever, headache, fatigue, and it goes away within a few days or 1 to 2 weeks. However, through my research, I have found that the flu virus can be much more severe, and it can lead to life-threatening complications and possibly death if not treated properly. It can infect anyone, but young children and elderly people are at a much higher risk of infection and developing complications that need immediate care and treatments. So the next time you catch the flu, I hope that you will remember what I'm about to share with you so that you don't underestimate the impact of this deadly virus and seek treatments immediately. To understand the severity of the flu, I will first discuss its effects on human physiologies and symptoms associated, next the epidemiology of the virus, and finally, effective treatments for the virus. So let's begin with the effects of the flu on our body and some symptoms we may encounter. The flu virus attacks our respiratory tract, which is our nose, throat, bronchial tubes, and lungs. And symptoms can begin as early as the first or second day. These symptoms include chills, high fever, sore throat, cough, headache, body and muscle aches, fatigue, and some may experience vomiting and diarrhea. If not treated, severe complications can occur, such as pneumonia, dehydration, bronchitis, and worsening of chronic medical conditions. These complications are life-threatening. According to a flu watch study done in England, written by The Lancet, titled 3/4 of people with seasonal pandemic flu have no symptoms, published in the Science Daily on March 16th of 2014. The study indicates that primary care surveillance greatly underestimates the extent of infection and illness in the community. Yet the National Institute of Allergies and Infectious Disease, last updated on September 13, 2013, estimated that nearly 50 million people in the United States get the flu annually. An estimate of 200,000 of this number are hospitalized due to severe illness, and approximately 36,000 people die from severe complications each year from the virus. Now that we understand the impact of the virus, I would like to discuss about how the virus can spread from person to person and ways we can prevent it. The flu virus spread through respiratory droplets. These droplets are formed from sneezing, coughing, and even talking. It spreads in the air, and nearby people can inhale these droplets into their lungs and be infected by the virus. That's why it is important that we always cover our mouth when we cough or sneeze, stay home when we are sick, and avoid interacting with people who are sick because the virus is extremely contagious. Vaccines are the first and best way to prevent infection. And the article Preventing and Controlling Influenza with Available Interventions by Timothy Yuki, published in the New England Journals of Medicine on February 27 of 2014. It states that the effectiveness of the vaccines varies depending on several different factors, such as the recipient's age, their immune response, and the match between the vaccine strains and the virus strains. That is why a new vaccine is introduced every fall because of the evolving viruses. As you can see, our daily behavior can make us more susceptible to the virus, but there are ways we can prevent it from spreading. Now I would like to talk about treatments for the virus once you are infected. Over-the-counter medications are available to reduce symptoms, but for people with a high risk of complications, antiviral drugs are available as prescription medications. And the New York Times title, Antiviral Drugs Cuts Flu Death Study Finds by Nicholas Barkler, last updated on March 28 of 2014, it estimated that during the recent outbreak of the flu of 2009-2010, the use of antiviral drugs reduced the death rate of hospitalized patients by 50%. Overall, it reduces the mortality rate in adults by 25% and 50% of use within the first or second day of occurring symptoms. As you can see, there are effective ways to reduce symptoms of the flu and ways to treat it before severe complications occur. I hope that the last few minutes gave you a better understanding of the flu. To date, the circulating virus still remains an issue in the United States and around the world. It can start out as a simple cold, but develop into something much greater and much more severe. There are several ways and steps and available interventions that can be taken to reduce the risk and spread of this deadly virus, and treatments are available. The flu virus is accountable for worldwide epidemics as well as the recurring pandemic circulating globally. It is important that we understand the effects and treatments of the effects and symptoms of the virus, how to prevent it from spreading, and treatments for the virus so that another pandemic does not occur in the future. Now that you have learned more about the flu and what it's capable of doing, I hope that you will consider getting your annual vaccination. And the next time you encounter this virus, I hope that you will not take it so lightly or underestimate its impact. The flu virus is extremely unpredictable, and when it strikes quickly and takes lives viciously. Thank you.